I love your wife, by the way. She is just the best person.
She's awesome. She rules, and she's helping me set this up. And because I guess I'm very lame, but as soon as I went said, you need Firefox, I was like, oh no. Anyways.
I wish I had more time to hang out with her on the cruise. I finally got a chance to talk with her on the last night, and then somebody dragged me away to go get espresso, which is hilarious because used to be people were dragging you away to go do Coke backstage, but now they're dragging you away because that's where the good coffee is.
Right. Exactly. Well, did you go to the karaoke thing at the end of the night
Absolutely.
night?
You have to karaoke at the end of the night on Monsters Rock Cruise every time. It's the best nightcap.
That was like my only performance since our show got canceled, which I was really bummed and pissed about, and still am a little bit. But then we went and did the karaoke thing, and that was fun. Whatever. So it wasn't
okay. So wait, remind me what song you did.
We did a Temptation song. Papa was a Rolling Stone, and Gonzo was like my dancer. And then
that's right.
From what are they called? The Guns N' Roses tribute band came up and did some backgrounds. It was fun. I did mess the lyrics up.
Oh, Paradise Kitty.
Yeah, Paradise Kitty. And I was like kind of just rocking out, and all of a sudden I didn't realize that the song had started. I was like, dude. So I won it, but it was fun.
Maybe that's why they thought you needed the help. They were like, he missed a verse. Let's get up there and help him out. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the guy from Faster Pussycat came on and did the clap. It was really fun, But like I said, it was really pissed more about not performing. And I'm trying to let it go. But, somebody on that boat knew that we're heading towards a storm. I just kind of wish it was light contingency plan of like in the event of, because my immediate idea was like, let's go play the tiny club. It'll be crazy, it'll be sick, but that should have been kind of planned because they're already breaking stuff down, because those boats,
exactly,
they turn that stuff over immediately. Like they want you out, new ones in. Mm-hmm. And they're already breaking the PA down and all that. So, but I kind of wish if that was something like, hey, you may not be able to play because there's a storm, then maybe the wheels would have been turning. And it's like, okay, well, let's have it, because there was a lot of Arm & Saint bands there, people from Europe. They're, didn't get the chance to see us a second time, and that sucks. And especially, and including we were pissed, especially because we waited. We were like one of the first bands, and then we didn't play till the end. So we had as much had a great time and drank a lot and ate a lot and just had a lot of fun. It was, our objective was to play, and so we didn't play the second time, and it was annoying. So, but anyway, what are you gonna do?
It's the perfect storm, pardon the pun. If the captain is driving into weather and doesn't tell us, or he's driving around weather and doesn't tell us, and then, like you said, only because you were playing one of the last shows on the pool stage, and that was one of the last stages open. They're breaking down immediately, so there's no contingency plan. If that had happened, if there had been a storm a day before, they probably would have put you into the club the next day. There would have been some room to move, but it was just like end of the festival. Everything's come down. There's nowhere to go. And sad.
Hey, man, we're not hassling this. You guys
but Larry just has to bring you back, right? Because most of our cruisers are repeat cruisers. So hopefully.
They had a good time this time, because it was kind of daunting before, because, we've done a couple and whatever, not to get into too detailed, but we didn't have the best time. This is the best time we've had. And it was a lot of fun. So
I think we have a great balance for artists and for cruisers. Most of the time our cruisers, like I said, they're repeat cruisers. So they kind of aren't the autographed hounds running around with the backpack full of stuff that they want you to sign a pile of, and they're pretty respectful with, when to get a picture and when not to get a picture. And then also we have the photo experience. So people who definitely want to get a photo can definitely get a photo with all of you at once. And that really reduces the stress on the artist.
Right. It was actually extremely organized, and really the fans are super respectful, and they want stuff done and they want stuff signed, but they're also very courteous in how they go about it. So I think because everyone's just kind of bopping around, the novelty kind of wears off pretty quick about like, oh, there's the guy I really, there's that band I really dig. They get it, and then they're like, hey, excuse me, I need to, get some potatoes if you can move out of the way here. Then it becomes that you're just part of it, so which is cool.
100%. The first year Kip Winger was on the boat, he like hid out the whole time. It was like, where's Kip? Nobody can see him. And then 2 cruises later, you can't get away from him. He's like all over the boat. And now he just like, it's nothing. He's not worried about it.
Yeah, I was just going to say that in the very beginning when we were proposing, not that we're going to hold ourselves up, we're no big stars or anything, but they're like, they really endorse people mingling. And we're like, what, really? And, not that we were above that by any stretch. I would say it's the nicest group, but it just felt like an obligation. So then, but once you do it, then you kind of understand. And it's fun. It's a good time. Yeah.
It's not scary once you do it. Like I said, I think we just have really we've got a culture on the boat. It's summer camp for everybody, not just for the cruisers. And they appreciate that. And I think that's what makes the bands want to come back and what makes the cruisers want to come back.
No doubt.
So let's talk about Great American Music Hall, March 29th.
Cool.
Yeah.
We played there with UFO a couple back, actually going back to 19 now. I think that was the run. That was actually right before the Mega Cruise. And we did a handful of shows with UFO, and that was one of them. And then we ended up getting on that cruise and going, but which was awesome because enormous fans of UFO from way back in the day. Phil Mogg is one of my favorite singers. I emulate him as a singer without, not getting too deep into that. But
I'm cool.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to like rip him off or anything. But he definitely was an inspiration for me when I started singing in my parents' garage and, going over Obsession and Lights Out all the time and trying to mimic him. But it was a great thing to do, to play with them. And we played there and it was a great gig. So now our agent, Dan, booked ourselves there and it's going to be fun. I do think that, our Sacramento show with Queensryche might have they might be kind of hurting one another, or it's probably hurting the San Francisco show a little bit. So I'm very grateful that you're able to put us on and help promote it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, the flip side to that is I'm super pissed that the whole tour package didn't just get booked in San Francisco.
Yeah. There's it's a strange routing on some of these dates because we're like, for instance, we're going from Sacramento to Seattle, which is a long drive. And then we're going from Seattle to Colorado Springs right after that, which is another long drive. So I get the feeling that
it's like the ghost of John Finberg.
Well,
routing wise, that's all I'm saying. Routing wise.
I mean, these are overdrives, so bands want to avoid those because you have to pay a lot of money for them. Then you have to stop somewhere in the middle, and it's costly. So I don't know. I think that what it is like, I'm like, why are we not playing Portland? But I think Queensryche is doing a casino show outside of Portland. Joey just told me, and in June, so that's probably why not. Which, I love Portland. It's a great rock town, and it's a bummer not to play it. But I think these are some of the reasons. So I'm like, wait a minute, we could have played Boise, Salt Lake, but why are we going all the way to Colorado Springs? So, I mean, I'm not an agent, and I know there's a lot of that, but I mean, I still look at the map and going, man, we're missing these places. So what's up with that? But
I got to be honest, I kind of want to start a movement to get these booking agents together and kind of get some cohesion in the markets because we're getting really skipped a lot. And it has to do with a combination of factors. It's like Aftershock and the casinos and the routing. You put those 3 together and people are like, we just can't make it to San Francisco because we also have a huge amount of competition in San Francisco. So that makes it tough. And it's not competition in the same genre. It's like other genre competition, but still it's competition for ticket sales and it's, no compete clauses and radius clauses that are just shutting us down.
Right. I mean, for us to come to San Francisco is, we our hearts are there, not to go for mention Tony Bennett's classic song, but it really is because we started going there and, in 1983 playing, the Stone and Metallica, the Stone on our own, Keystone. I know it's not SF, but it's Keystone Polo Up. So we played Ruthie's Inn, which is again in Berkeley, but, with Las Rocket. And I mean, like as much as we founded ourselves in Los Angeles, we were going to the Bay Area and playing all those places, Keystone and Berkeley. And I mean, all those places are obviously not there any longer, but it was a very important part of Homework Saints' growth in California. So I'm stoked to play it. I want to play it. I can't wait to play San Francisco. And it's always a great time to just be there. And, I know there's, not to go into the political spectrum, but, I know there's a lot of talk about, how, some of the stuff's being ironed out, but, we're trying to, we want to have great gigs and we want to have an awesome show there and make it work. Oh,
yeah. And I mean, it's in the Tenderloin, so everybody already knows it's kind of a bad neighborhood. But, CBGB's was in a bad neighborhood, and the Omni was in a bad neighborhood. And I feel like much ado about something that has been virtually the same for years and years and years and has actually improved from the 80s and 90s to now. Right. But that's not the spin that's out there. And you'll see when you get there. You'll be like, oh, yeah, same. No different. I feel like Armored Saint is almost as much a part of the Bay Area thrash ethos as the bands that started here, because there was so much back and forth in the first few years of between like 80, 81 to like 85, when everything really kind of gelled and the scene formed.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I talk about that a lot, and I say that sometimes Armored Saint was a band that had a inferiority complex. Not that we admitted it, but I think it was the truth, because we came from LA and we were part of the scene in LA, certainly played all of the great venues, the Troubadour, the Whiskey, the Country Club back in the day, great, awesome venues, great shows. And we played with these bands, a lot of them that were on the boat, Black and Blue, I mean, back in the day, Keel, Wasp, Rat. We had great shows and had fun times playing with those groups. But then we also were trying to like get a name for ourselves in the other scene, which was, the thrash scene. But we didn't really belong to kind of either scene. And that was our kind of quandary, is like, we're not really a thrash band, but we're certainly powerful. We play, heavy songs like Madhouse and March of the Saint. And we're not a hair metal band, although we could play some kind of ballad type songs that could kind of go that direction if you want, but we're certainly heavier than that. But we played with these groups, so it's like, where do you fit in? And that was a problem for us for a long time, of like, where does this band fit in? I think it really kind of worked against us at times. So we're trying to, I think we got to figure it out, but it did take some time.
But also, don't you feel like it's not a problem anymore? I mean, I see these bills today, and kids today, that whole genre fight doesn't exist anymore. If you're under 30, you don't care if a band is a hairspray band or is a thrash band or is a video game band or is a symphonic band. I mean, it's all out there now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree to some extent with that, for sure. People are just, you're a part of a scene at a time, and maybe say the years, like the 80 years, or the 90s, whatever. It's funny, we saw Y&T on the boat, and it was amazing. I mean, we used to go see them when they were Yesterday and Today on the club, at the Starwood, which was an amazing club back in the day. Crescent Heights and Santa Monica Boulevard, just a killer venue. And we saw them a bunch of times. We saw Quiet Riot there back in the day with Kevin DeBro and Randy Rhoads. We saw it. I mean, it was like, we saw awesome shows there. So, that was the whole thing for Armored Saint, kind of getting up and trying to follow in those bands' footsteps and figure it out. We were just young when we were starting. We were like really 20, 21 and just kind of weren't exactly sure how to kind of develop our style and our personality. It took some time, actually, all the way back to like Making Symbol of Salvation is, I think, the record is that kind of figured it out for Armored Saint, but which is okay. I'm honest about it. But yeah, I think bands just dig bands, and somebody who wants to crank Testament might, the next record they play might be, Rat, and they were different, but people still dig all the same stuff.
Well, and I think we found out years later that, everybody in Exodus, like the biggest anti-poser band out there in the Bay, were like, okay, we liked Rat.
Yeah. Rat.
You just couldn't say it back then. It was like a thing.
Yeah, exactly. You had to kind of stay true, and you couldn't say I listened to that. But
we were young, and we were taking ourselves entirely too seriously, I think.
That's very, very possible. Probable. That's probable.
Yeah, and then also the industry didn't help. The industry kind of pushed all the money in one direction, creating this stepchild over here of the heavier music. And I think that was already kind of where we were coming from in Rebellion to begin with, of like, cool, yeah, thanks. And Y&T kind of ended up on the opposite end of the spectrum, right? Like, you guys kind of got pigeonholed on the too heavy side, even though you were very well easily straddling both types of music. And then Y&T got pigeonholed onto the kind of Hairspray side, even though they were very blues based and Bay Area sounding. And it's just, now people just don't care.
Yeah, I completely agree. You know,
I take that back. It's not that they don't care; it's that they're not mad at you for it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's all great music, and and if you're better served to listen to it all. And I mean, within reason. I mean, there's some bands, I won't say who they are, but some I still don't like. It's like, but I'm not going to tell you who that is. But
Okay.
And it could be in multiple genres, to be honest. But again, I'm just a fan too. I'm just a person that listens to music as well. So it's not like what I say rules, but I have my own opinion as a musician and also as a fan. So I mean, whatever. I think the key component is to listen to lots of music. I always deal with this stuff in regards to my era in Anthrax, because people are like, I only like John, or I only like Joey's, and it's like, you could like them both. It's okay,
Yeah.
say that, because like there was some cool music from both, and I mean, you could pick a side. I get it, I do it, with the Sammy Dave thing. I prefer David Lee Roth, Van Halen, but I love Sammy. I would prefer hearing Montrose more than anything, because I love Sammy as a singer. But during that era, I liked David better. So it's just whatever. I mean, you can love all this music, and that goes beyond metal. You can listen to all kinds of. I love some pop music. We went to go see the Dandy Warhols the other day, my wife and I. Killer band, really psychedelic. So I mean, to me, it's the best thing you could do is listen to lots of different music.
On the Anthrax topic, every few years there's a rumor that you're going to do something with Anthrax, whether it's an anniversary performance or, some kind of re-recording or recording or a new thing or an old thing. And that kind of somebody started beating that drum about 6 months ago again. Is this a thing? Do you guys like go, maybe we could do a thing, and then it kind of goes by the wayside, or does it just never happen and it's just completely fabricated?
It's funny. I'll do an interview and somebody will say something about it, and I'll just, I'll answer honestly and candidly. And the next thing you know, it's on Blabbermouth, and it's like, okay, I'm just talking over here, but I get it. I'm doing interviews too, but I love the idea of one day going out and doing it wouldn't be some long tour. It'd probably be like a handful of shows of doing, my era and Anthrax, because they don't play too many of the songs. They play only, and they just don't play too many. And I get it, because there's a large catalog that Anthrax has, not only from the beginning, but now they've made, they're about ready to make their third record, I believe, after that. So I understand. I really do. I totally get it. But there are some songs that would be fun to hear, I think, for fans and for myself. It just has to kind of work with time, really. That's the key component. And but it would be fun for sure. I just don't know, at this point when that would happen. And I don't know, they kind of got their own thing going on too. They're busy. They're making a new record. So it has to. I don't know. One day, maybe it'll be me with various musicians doing it. Probably not with the band, actually. Or if they ever wanted to say, hey, you want to come out and sing a couple songs? Yeah, I'd be into that. But if I always say it's something that Joey Belladonna should be wanting to do. If this is something that he's not into, he's uncomfortable, then it shouldn't be done, because there's just no point. But who knows?
So, but it's something that's not been in discussion.
No.
Between you and them. And then, so what I'm hearing is either we probably need like a festival promoter to be really proactive and creative, or we need the Anthrax camp to kind of go, maybe this is a package we could put together with Armored Saint and have a crossover set kind of thing.
Well, it sounds like you're already working on some stuff there, Nikki. So
I have an agenda.
I I would love Armored Saint to go out and play some shows or do a tour with Anthrax. I think that would be killer. I've said it, it'd be really fun. So,
or even a big Anthrax anniversary celebration in New York.
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible. I mean, Anthrax's live in New York is always going to be very special. So, who knows? I mean, like I said, I have other things that I'm thinking about, and Armored Saint is too. I just saying I would be open to doing something really fun and cool, and not some long extended thing. But it has to gel for everybody, including the same guys. It has to be something that everybody wants to do and feels comfortable doing. And then if it does, then great. If it doesn't, maybe, I don't know, then it just doesn't. And then people will be, damn, that never happened.
Yeah. So let's talk about new album. You guys I've been looking at your recent interviews, and I don't want to rehash, but I hear 7 songs in the can, or 7 songs written. Did I miss?
Yeah, something like that. We just did a video for a cover song of the Four Tops, One Chain Don't Make No Prison. Really cool. It's like, it's kind of a throwback. I love that sound from, especially that band in the 70s was really cool. That's when they got a little bit more edgy. 60s stuff was, of course, great. But Levi Stubbs, the main singer, was awesome. Had like a cool, just soulful, powerful voice. So Joey had this idea of doing it. We did the song. I don't know when for sure it's coming out. We did a video for it that we're all going to be like, we're all wearing suits. So it's pretty funny. It's a little different for us. It looked cool. It was really aesthetically looking pretty cool.
Where did you film that?
We filmed it at they found somebody's house somewhere here in Hollywood. And the guy had all these crazy decorations inside of his house that he lived in. So the director found it. And so we shot it kind of in a circle, which is really cool. It was fun. So that's going to come out. And that'll kind of embellish the song a little bit by doing the video. And Logic says that will be on a record. We've already written a few songs. We've got probably about 5 or 6, and we need to write a handful more. Armored Saint notoriously doesn't move too fast. And, it would be cool if we had a little urgency. Not that we're lazy about it. We just, we kind of work at our own pace. And when ideas come, they do. And then the ball starts kind of getting momentum, and then we're going. But in the end, I always say, it's better to make an awesome record. We're never going to be a band that had like 30 records. It wasn't our kind of path. But we can still have every record be great. And that should be the objective. Not that all bands with 30 records are just saying, let's put out some crap. But sometimes I think a lot of people do things so they could just tour. And that just isn't really our MO. So if we could try to get it less than every 5 years, especially on our age, would be something that would be good. But in the end, it'll come when it does. But, 2025, I think is fairly realistic.
Is that something that you guys are preferring, or something that the record company's preferring? I mean, there's always the option of an EP or a live release that has an EP or a DVD attached, or like a greatest hits with the extra songs.
And we've done that. Actually, I think Metal Blade is re-releasing 2 of our records, Revelation and La Raza. Revelation came out in 2000. La Raza was 10. So they're going to re-release those, which is really cool. And we did a live record which was only like 8 songs, Carpe Noctem, a few years ago on the When Hands Down tour. So, and I think the single is going to be a single. So it's going to come out before a record. So we've done all those kind of different things. I mean, in the end, I want to make a record because, metal people still love records. But metal fans still want to buy vinyl and CDs. It's probably the one genre that people still want it. I mean, of course, people get it through different means, and if downloading or MP3s or whatever. If that's your method to listen to music, do whatever it is that makes you happy. But I think that people still love the aesthetics of vinyl and record and CDs. I mean, some people still have cassettes. I don't know if they're listening to them.
Yeah,
it sounded good in the first place, but people like having the product, and that's really great. And we've always released vinyl from the beginning, and even in our latter years on Metal Blade when vinyl was taking a big dip. It's had a little resurgence now, but I think it's great that fans still want that. And I want to make a full-length record. So.
And Record Store Day twice a year, April 20th and Black Friday every year. That is always awesome. Do you do Record Store Day at all?
I don't think I have, but I'm really bummed because I haven't been to the Amoeba down in LA because they reopened it, which is really cool. The original is up in your neck of the woods, obviously, and it's great. And there's just not a lot of record stores these days, which is very sad.
Tough.
It's a drag. That's why bands actually sell a lot of product on the road, which is what we do, and it's a good means. It's funny because back in the day, I don't know what the real logistics of it were, but you could never sell records on the road in the 80s. Bands, it was only, T-shirts and stuff. And now you sell everything. I guess maybe the merch companies had more power then, and they were saying, no, we don't want vinyl. And there was record stores. So somebody would come see you in a show, the next day could walk into a store and buy your album. You can't do that now because there's just fewer stores. But
and those stores have to choose what they're carrying, and it's crazy.
Exactly. And I've been to the new Mini, but I was really actually quite proud that they reopened so quickly. When that one was going down, the original in Hollywood, I was like, that's done. And then they were like, no, we're going to reopen. I was like, yeah, sure you are. And they
believe it when I see it, and they did.
I was like, wow, and it's in a cool location. Actually, we were right by it the other night, my wife and I, because we went to see that Danny Warhol show. It was at the Fonda Theater, which is a venue here in Hollywood Boulevard. It's literally a block from the Amoeba. So I'm glad they made that happen. Last time I was there, I was a little disappointed in some of their in some of their availability of certain records. But hey, that's just, again, me speaking as a fan, not John Bush as the singer. They always carry actually a pretty good amount of Armored Saint and Anthrax records that I've made, so I'm happy about that. But I was looking for a couple things I couldn't find, so I don't know. Maybe I needed to stay in the used section or something. I don't know.
I think that's the audiophile never-ending journey, right? You always have like a running list of records in your head that you're constantly on the lookout for.
I do. I have it in my phone. There's like 30 records that I'm always looking for. And I don't really want to get it through Amazon, even though I've done it, because I want to promote record stores, and that's what I grew up on. Nothing was more fun than going into a store and browsing. I mean, that's my life began as that. So, as far as music goes, so it
was a communal activity, right? You and your buddies, you'd turn up at the record store and you'd be flipping through the bins, being like, "Hey, did you see this? Hey, right. Oh, what's this?
How many records did you buy because of the cover?" He's like, never heard of this band. I don't know what they sound like.
Almost all of them, because we couldn't listen before.
Exactly. Maybe the guy was spinning it on in the store or something, but it's such a great vibe.
I'm trying to bring that back. I don't know how, but I'll get a plan. I'll get a plan together, and I'll start putting it out there.
Yeah, I mean, there has been a resurgence. I don't think it'll ever sell the numbers that it did, of course, back in the day. Record sales in general just aren't. It's a disappointment. I think it's a lost thing for the new generation. I have two kids. They don't care about records. I try to, they listen to music. Don't get me wrong, but they don't care about actually buying records. They do it on their phone, and that's the method.
Streaming services are killing record stores. We need to make record stores a destination. I don't know if that means we have to put a boba tea shop in them or whatever, but we kind of need to do that so that they don't die out.
How about laundromats? Like, we have a couple laundromats. Make those I think it should be a laundromat /bar /coffee house /record store. Man, you get your clothes done while you're waiting. You're browsing for records. Get a beer or a cappuccino. I mean, then your clothes are in the dryer. You got to put them in the dryer. I mean, I don't know. You get on it.
I'm on board. I mean, billionaires are out there buying mega yachts when they could be buying laundromat, coffee shop, record stores, and creating a culture that this country badly needs.
I think it's a great idea. It sounds fun to me.
So let's talk about the set list that you guys have going on for Great American, because this is a headline show, but you're currently out on is it a co-headline or an opening set with Queensryche?
Where's the support act?
Yeah, so, I mean, that just shortens your time a bit, right? So now you've got some more time to play with. Are you going to try and work in the Four Tops cover, or what are you thinking?
No, I don't think we're going to play that yet because we're waiting for the actual video to surface. But, we're going to play longer, of course, in San Francisco. And it was funny because Phil was just like, what's the set? And I was like, I'm working on it. So I mean, these guys are. I'm like, I kind
Is that the answer? I'm working on it, Nikki.
And I leave them hanging. I've been known to. I always try to tinker with the set, and I don't want to play the same songs all the time, man. We have a lot of songs, a lot of albums. I always like messing around with it, and sometimes it really annoys my band members. But it's like, I mean, what do you want to play? The same 10 songs? Oh, it sucks. I know. So I'm always consulting setlistfm.com and going, okay, we played this here. As a matter of fact, I was just looking at what we played with UFO, and then prior and with Wasp. So we are gonna bring a few songs that we haven't played in a while, some oldies that we just have been in hibernation, and we're gonna bring them back, and we'll probably play them in San Francisco. I won't say what it is yet, but again, always messing around. Obviously, we are still stoked about Punching the Sky, our last record, and really we haven't really done a lot of touring in conjunction with that record, so we're going to play a couple different songs from that record, some deeper tracks. So it's going to be a cool set. It's going to be fun.
Awesome. And then do you get into town with enough time to have a walk around or anything, or is it just going to be at the venue?
Yeah, we get there the night before. We're coming from, as a matter of fact, we're coming from Sacramento, so we probably won't leave till the morning, realistically, because normally we leave in the night. So you're sleeping when you're traveling, you wake up, and then you're in the city, and then you're like, oh, what can I do? But because of this short drive, I don't know what we'll do exactly. But yeah, we want to bop around.
Traffic is a thing, you know that, right?
I like, feet on my feet and walking around, and I love the Bay. I love San Francisco. It's a great city. It's taking a lot of flack, but it's as far as the people thinking it's too rough and or people don't care, and I think people do care. Look, I come from LA. We're struggling with those same things. There's an encampment on my corner at home where my wife and our business is at Hollywood, where she has a casting studio. There's a big encampment a block away there. We know all about it. We're trying to be empathetic for the people that are struggling, and at the same time, I don't really want to pick up human feces, and I've done that. That's pretty humbling. So I mean, it's like we're trying to figure it out. But we love these cities. LA is my home, so I always connect, even though there's always this rivalry between Los Angeles and San Francisco. To us, it's the state, and California's where we started. So even though we were a Southern California band, like I said before, the Bay Area has always been something that's been very close to us, and we expect a lot actually from the Bay Area and the crowd for Irving St. there. So I'll be there and I'll be supporting San Francisco.
What's your favorite food to get in San Francisco? Do you have like a favorite restaurant or a favorite burrito? Or
that was always cool. Obviously it's great. It's a great neighborhood and cool to go there. And I don't know. Let me think about that. Actually, I might have to. Is there a cool restaurant you could recommend?
There's a great Thai spot like up the street from the venue.
Okay, I'm totally down. I love Thai. Thai iced tea.
Yeah.
All packed up before the show.
The Thai coffee.
That's why
when you are too tired, that Thai coffee is just like tea times 10.
That's cool. I'll be like Beavis up there on stage.
Yeah. It's funny because you are in the Tenderloin. So on one street, you've got like the strip club and Needle Park and all the business, and then on the next street, you've got all these great little clubs and restaurants and markets and shops, and it's like that's San Francisco in a nutshell, dude.
Yeah, that is, and that's great. That's one of the coolest aspects of it, is that it is a metropolis that encompasses a lot of different cultures. So that's the beauty of it.
Cool. I'm ready to wrap. If there's anything you think would be good to mention for San Francisco or for the show or anything like that.
I think we covered it, and thank you so much for doing this, and I appreciate it. I'm glad that you're rocking the air and having fun, and I hope you come out and we'll hang out.
Yeah, we'll see you there.
Awesome. All right, thank you.
Thanks, John. Give your wife my best. Tell her I want to hang out with her again.
That's right. shoes.
Yeah, I want to see the shoes. That's true too.
A lot of shoes. Yeah.
Me too.
I'm sure.
All right.
Thanks so much.
All right. Take care, man.